Alright guys, so here's another comic review, and this time it's not going to be more of a deep conversation about a comic. This is going to be more fun. This is a comic I recently got while I was at Ollie's, of all places, and that is Superman Emperor Joker. Now, Superman Emperor Joker is written by Jeff Loeb, GM DeMatteis, or DeMatteis, I don't know how you pronounce the last name. I've heard multiple sayings for the last name. I need to, get, okay, how do you say his last name? I don't know. Anyway, and Doug Mahnke and a few other people. So, Superman Emperor Joker is a storyline where Joker has stolen the powers of Mr. Mxyzptlk, and basically what he has done is remodel the world in his new image, and Superman seems to be the only one who seems to remember it all, and is trying now to put everything back together. That is the story. Now, this is a comic that not a lot of people look fondly on, and I can understand why. I can understand why, for a few reasons, why people don't look fondly on this comic for Superman Emperor Joker. It's not the worst Superman story, I will say that right out the gate. This is by far not the worst Superman story. Does it have Superman filming a porno with Big Barda? Oh, it does it? Then it's not terrible. Yeah, that's an actual comic, people. That is a legit comic. God damn. But yeah, I can understand why people don't care much for this comic, because it doesn't take itself seriously, and it's a little too long. It's in total 9 parts. It's almost like it's a comic that could literally be solved in 6 parts at max, but it went on 3 parts too long. 5 parts, 6 at the most. 9 parts? No thank you. Yeah, I can understand why people kind of lost interest in a lot of it. Because it was throughout the multiple Superman titles. Kind of like Maximum Carnage, where this is a comic that could have been solved in 6 parts at most. But instead went on for 14 parts, so that's what I think the biggest thing with this comic is, that this goes on a little too long, and even I will agree with that it goes on a little too long, because the joke kind of goes sour a little bit, a little too soon. In fact, you kind of figure out real quick, oh, it's Joker who's doing all this. It's really and it's this big spoiler in Part 4. Part 4, we find out it was the Joker all along who altered the world. And yeah, you would have probably guessed that by the first part. You would have probably guessed that already, of how things are going in this new world by the first part, maybe the second, if you needed a little more help. If you need a little more help understanding, because there are some other villains out there outside of Joker who are equally insane with Mr. Mxyzptlk's powers. So you could have easily been oh, I get it. By the second part, a lot of people would have been going, oh, it's probably Joker at this point. Though you probably would have guessed that the first part, maybe the second. Because it's a little more subtle in the first part, about who would be behind all this. Second part you would have guessed by then. But anyway. What I also find funny about this comic is that it's a little self-referential, in that, there's some points in this comic where it's really subtle, the writer's being very subtle about, hey, this isn't a serious comic, and you try-hard edgelord fuckboys should, lighten up. Yeah. Because that's the thing about comics. Sometimes I just want a comic to be fun. And that's what this comic is at the end of the day. It's a fun comic. You literally have the, Joker going Looney Tunes with all this godlike power. So, of course he's gonna have some fun. And that's the thing, is that at the end of the day, it's fun. And it's a fun Superman story. It's really it feels like a more updated, pre-crisis, kind of 70s kind of story Superman would do. It also rings a little true that, in this comic, there's this running theme of people not believing the truth, of, the irrational rule the world, and science is denied. Science is if you believe in science, you're wrong. And that's very true in this day and age, isn't it? Where, clear facts are demonized, And I don't know if that was that was the thing Jeff Loeb and the rest of the creative team were trying to do for the idea, but it's really rings true in this day and age of, science is being treated and demonized by the people in power. And other, and the common people are really being science deniers of what is clearly fact. Again, maybe that's just, I don't think that was the intention, but reading this comic, it's like, oof, this is a little too real. And I like that. It's really fun. It's completely wacky. Wacky is not a word I use often, but that's what it is. Sometimes I just want Superman to fight, weird pie monsters or something like that. And if you go into the mindset that this comic is not this dark and serious story, I think you'll have fun. But like I said, it really depends on how long you can read this comic, because 9 parts. This went on 9 parts too long. So that's the major thing, is either going to make and break you, is that this comic should have been solved in 5, maybe 6 parts at most, but it went on a little too long. And there's some fun jokes here and there. This is also a Jeff Loeb who, we're getting to we're not at Ultimatum yet, but you can clearly see the cracks in his writing already. So this is pre-Ultimatum, pre-really bad Loeb. We're in that transitional period. I think, when this comic came out in the early 2000s, I think he was also working at Marvel doing the, one of the, at least the Marvel colored series of, Spider-Man Blue and all of them. So I think this is around the same time period. And also, like I said, it's not just Jeff Loeb a part of this creative team. So like I said, if you're looking for a fun story, and if you can find this cheap, that's the other thing. I wouldn't pay full price for this comic. I got it for about $5 at Ollie's, like I said. So, if you can get this cheap, it's definitely worth, finding it like a bargain. It's definitely a bargain bin comic if you want to read something fun. There's some great jokes in here. Ed McGuinness's art is really good. And it's just a fun story, but like I said, it really depends on, are you willing to listen to this for about 9 issues? That's the make or break right there. Because by the end of it, even as much as I like this story, even I was like, okay, let's wrap it up. Please, let's wrap it up. Oh, we got another issue. Okay. Anyway, so if you've read this comic, just comment below, let me know what you guys thought of it. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I will leave a link in the description below for you guys to check out my new Vlare TV account, Mr. Multiverse. So yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, I will leave a link in the description below for that. And to all of my followers on Vlare, once again, thank you so much for following me many of you followed me from YouTube to here. And to anyone new here, any new followers on Vlare, I'm trying not to say subscribers because, trying to break myself from that. Hit that follow button and follow me for more, for reviews, comic reviews, topics, whatever. But anyway, I am Mr. Multiverse, and I will see you once more in the multiverse. I'll work on that.